Hey guys, so welcome to today's video where we're going to cover some updates we have about the HEMI engines from Tim Kuniskis, the current CEO of the Dodge brand. He's done several interviews recently and divulged some information I thought you guys would like to know about. It looks like the HEMI's days are certainly numbered, and electronic technology will one day take its place. First we'll talk about the history of the HEMI and which versions were available, and then check out Dodge's power strategy. After that we'll see what Kuniskis said about the HEMI's days being numbered, what Dodge's plans are for electrification, and I'll finish the video with some heartfelt comments on this topic. So hope you enjoy, and let's dive right in. So first let's take a look back at the Chrysler HEMI engines, which were a series of straight 6 and V8 gasoline engines with hemispherical combustion chambers. There have been 3 different types of HEMIs built throughout Chrysler's history, and most people will refer to those as first, second, and third generation HEMIs. The first was known as the Chrysler Firepower engine from 1951 to 1958, the second from 1964 to 1971, and the third from 2003 to the present day. The current production HEMI combustion chambers are no longer truly hemispherical, but this moniker is so important for Chrysler and Dodge marketing that they sure as hell kept calling the engine by that name. It's simply an icon for the brand. So we can focus a little bit more on the third generation HEMIs, as that's kind of what we're into right now. So the 5.7 liter HEMI V8 was first found in the 2002 and 2003 Dodge Ram trucks, and it's become a staple found in 9 different models and countless trim levels, including the Charger and Challenger RT. It's got between 340 to 370 horsepower and 390 to 410 pound-feet of torque, and this engine has remained for over 18 years now, getting updates and revisions. The 6.1 liter HEMI V8 was found in the Dodge Charger, Challenger, Magnum, Chrysler 300, and Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT8s from 2006 to 2010, with 425 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. That was replaced in 2011 with the 6.4 liter 392 Apache engine, found in various SRT and Scat Pack models. Again, similar vehicles like the Charger, Challenger, 300, Durango, and Grand Cherokee. And that engine makes between 470 to 485 horsepower and 470 to 475 pound-feet of torque. And it's still going strong today. Another HEMI we have today would be the high-performance supercharged variant called the Hellcat, named after the Grumman F6F Hellcat fighter plane. This was introduced in 2015 with the same bore as the 6.4 liter and the same stroke as the 5.7 liter, with an overall displacement of 6.2 liters. It's found in the Charger, Challenger, and Durango Hellcats, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk, and the Ram 1500 TRX. A red-eye version debuted in 2019 for the Challenger and 2021 in the Charger. This engine was the most powerful engine produced by Chrysler, with between 707 to 797 horsepower and 650 to 707 pound-feet of torque. And it was also the most powerful production engine ever in a muscle car until the Dodge Demon came along. And of course, there was also that 2018 Demon-only version with some improvements over the regular Hellcat HEMI, with a larger 2.7 liter supercharger, improved parts, a new camshaft, and more. The power output here is 808 horsepower and 717 pound-feet of torque on 91 octane gas, and 840 horsepower and 770 pound-feet of torque with the Demon crate. So with these HEMI engines, Dodge was able to successfully rebrand and thrive in a niche by offering high horsepower V8s. They've constantly one-upped themselves over and over, each time adding more horsepower and faster quarter-mile times. And right now the customer demand for horsepower remains as high as ever. Dodge has sold over 50,000 Hellcat-powered vehicles since 2014, and those aren't very cheap. They recently sold out the Durango Hellcat with 2,000 buyers, and they even sold 702 units of the 2021 Ram 1500 TRX Launch Edition, selling them all within 10 minutes, despite the price tag starting at $90,265 US. And that's not to mention all the 5.7 and 6.4 HEMI sales as well, across the various vehicles in the FCA lineup. Unfortunately, at some point we have to realize that electrification is coming, and these gas-guzzling V8 horsepower wars just can't continue the way the world is progressing. Tim Kuniskis, who is the CEO of the Dodge brand, has done several interviews, including one recently with CNBC, and we learned a lot more about where the company feels like they are headed. So in an older interview from last year, Tim said, quote, "We're very interested in electrification, specifically for performance. I think it is absolutely the future of performance, and it's what is going to enable performance to exist amid environmental regulations." End quote. So this first gave us the idea that Dodge and SRT want to push their way into electric territory. Then in this CNBC interview, he ripped off the band-aid, saying, quote, "The days of an iron block supercharged 6.2 liter V8 are numbered. They're absolutely numbered because of all the compliance costs. But the performance that those vehicles generate is not numbered." End quote. So he's referring to some regulations which are currently of course less strict in the US as they are in Europe, but that's expected to change a little bit when the Biden administration announces stricter emissions regulations, and they also have plans to increase the corporate average fuel economy, or CAFE, in the coming months. For those V8 and Mopar enthusiasts like myself, there is a bit of a silver lining, and Kuniskis made sure to stress that shifting away from the V8 doesn't mean that Dodge is going to lose its performance. He said, quote, 1972 was the beginning of the end of the golden age of muscle cars. They went away for fuel economy, for the oil crisis, they went away for safety, they went away for insurance, and they went away for increasing emission standards. It's kind of crazy to think about we're getting close to a similar list of things right now. I'm super excited about the future of electric because I think it's what's going to allow us not to fall off the cliff. Without that technology, without electrification, this is 1972 right now, and this thing is going to end. End quote. So as he says, we've literally been here before, the muscle car golden era coming to a crash. However, with the electrification, we can be sure that history won't exactly repeat itself, and the power won't simply go away like it did before, as there is another option, and Kuniskis sees the electric technology as simply that next option or the next wave of performance. He's taking more of a head-on approach as well, saying, quote, I'm not going to say there's no way to avoid it, because I'm not looking at it as something that we want to avoid. I think it's going to be the next evolution, the next step of even higher performance than anything we've seen up until this point. It's going to open up massive capability. End quote. So what can we expect? And when? Well, Kuniskis confirmed that Dodge will start adding electric and plug-in hybrid models going forward, but we don't know exactly what kind of technology that might be, or which vehicles they could go into first. There are rumors everywhere, like plug-in hybrids for the next-gen Durango, the use of e-axles, the sharing of the 4xe powertrain from Jeep, and hybrid technology for the Hellcats that would be similar to the Wrangler e-Torque engine. And as for the timing, Mopar enthusiasts can rest easy for a while, as there won't be any immediate changes anytime soon. Kuniskis talked about how electrification isn't cost-effective for Stellantis or their consumers unless it's spread across a wide range of vehicles, so there won't be any low-volume electric performance cars. There are supposed to be 3 new plug-in models in 2022, but from these comments, Dodge right now is unable to jump right into electric or hybrid powertrains due to their business strategy of providing affordable performance vehicles. That technology is just too expensive to provide in their vehicles right now. But once they can get the prices down, that's when we would see those types of engines coming to the Charger and Challenger. It won't be during this generation of the two cars, but probably something that would happen after 2025 or even 2030, so that means that the next generation Charger and Challenger would probably get electrified near the end of that next gen life cycle. So to close this video out, I want to address people who question why losing our HEMI V8s to electrics are such a big deal, especially if the power and performance can remain at a high level, which I'm sure it can, considering that various Tesla models are admittedly quicker than Hellcats. The reluctance from most of the Mopar community to push forward stems not from a hate towards the electric vehicles and new technology, but from a love for the HEMI. Many people have grown up owning various HEMIs at various ages, and working on their cars and modifying them, and there's just something special about owning a V8. The exhaust rumble and roar, the torque feel, and even the HEMI moniker. Dodge and Chrysler have made the HEMI such an icon that it truly feels special owning one. I, for one, even loved just joyriding in my HEMI because it was fun as hell and brought me a lot of joy. I wanted the drama that made the experience of the vehicle so fun and gave me a smile even when I was just going to the grocery store. No other vehicle that I've ever driven or that my family has ever owned does the same. Lexuses, Kias, Volkswagens, trucks, electric vehicles, you name it. Sure, the new stuff like Tesla might go faster, but the question is, does the guy with the HEMI have more fun owning it? And I think he probably does. After all, that's the reason why Dodge has continued to sell the same muscle cars for over 15 years now, and they still go like hotcakes and everybody wants one. I can't speak for everybody, but I don't hate electric vehicles, and I realize that they are a necessity and necessary part of our future. However, I can't imagine dropping the HEMI and being forced into electrics at this current time, and I really do hope that at least one HEMI can survive and still be offered in the upcoming years. I will say that I do feel a little bit better, as we talked about. The one silver lining is that with the electrification, we won't see muscle cars and power die out like in the 1970s. Maybe their engine will, but with the electronic technology coming, there will be a new wave of performance. So that's the end of this video, guys. What do you make of all this information we've covered? Are you echoing the same sentiment as me? You looking forward to electric vehicles? You looking forward to the new generation of the Charger and Challenger? Or do you want things to kind of stay the same? Let me know down in the comment section below. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for a lot more Mopar content, always on the go, and I'll see you guys in the next video.